Gotta get center, am I right? Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Riley. Welcome to Riley Reads. This is everything I've read in the month of January. January, wow. I feel like it's been like 2 months. Like, I don't know, like this month felt way longer than usual. I read so many books this month. It was my best reading month I've had yet. So that's like, woo! Big applause there. This is like an oddity for me though, just because I'm not working a ton right now. Probably won't have a lot of months like this in the future. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll just like find the time to read all the time. I read, let's find out. How many books did I read? I read 11 books in the month of January. I might be able to make it 12. I'm currently like halfway through another book. So I read 11 books. Most of them were series. So I'll kind of like go through all of that. To start, I read the entire Eden series by Devoney Perry. And there's like, how many books in this series? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 books. Pretty much it's like people in Montana and their little romance, little like interconnected universe series. They were fun. They were cute. I personally really enjoyed them. Not so much for like the romance. There was like one book that I was like, I love the romance, I would say. They were all good, but it wasn't anything I hadn't like read before. But the thing I loved was the just out of pocket like crazy things that would happen. Like crazy things. Like you would be literally at like 90% in the book and something like totally left field would happen and you're like skimming, like you're just going through those last like couple pages and you're just like, wow, mind blown. It was usually like some sort of like crazy crime wackadoodle thing happening and you're in this like teeny tiny town in Montana. That's the thing that was fun. I feel like it was such like polar opposites of this like cozy like town environment and then you go into this like crazy like thing going on. It's like that meme where it's like, take my hand. Are you holding on? You holding on? Keep holding on. Like that's how I felt in these books. So the first book, technically the first series I read at the end of December, though I won't include that. But the first one I read in January was Juniper Hill. And this pretty much, I can't even remember the people's names. I think her name was Memphis. Oh, this is another thing. The names, maybe this is just my opinion, but the names were like not it for me. Not it for me. Bad name choices. But it's pretty much this single mommy comes into town for a job and there's like no houses like available or apartments or anything for rent. So she ends up renting this like loft apartment above a garage from this guy, and this guy is like not about it, and she has secrets and he has secrets, and there's this baby, where's the dad, and like all these things. But of course they like end up falling in love, and there's all these really hilarious things to do with like the baby. Not hilarious, I just find it funny because it's just so out of pocket. I gave that one 3 stars. Most of these are 3 stars. So Juniper Hill, 3 stars. It was okay. It was like fun, but it was okay, you know? Next one is Garnet Flats. This one was wild. Like literally, I felt like I had whiplash. Wow. I'm just like thinking back on it, I'm like, wow, this was crazy. The story is the girl, small town doctor, and her boyfriend from 7 years ago that she was like madly in love with just shows up in this small town and he's like, hi, like, how are you? And she's like, what the heck? Last time I saw you, you were getting married to my best friend. You literally told me like, hey, just out of the blue, by the way, that, hey, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with your roommate, actually, and we're gonna get married. And yeah, bye. And then you just show up and you're like, I missed you. Hi, how are you? I want to be with you. Like, it was crazy. Like, the whole thing. And there's so many, like, secrets that are, like, hidden from you. And then it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that one was fun. I give that 4 stars. Not necessarily for the romance either. I wasn't like obsessed with the romance. I was obsessed with like the story. The story was a good old time, okay? Let me just say. My favorite one, book number 3, was Jasper Vale. I don't know what it was about this book, but I loved it. I loved Eloise and I loved Jasper. I don't know if it's just like I really like a grumpy, like reserved man that's like a little bit mean to me, but like overall is like obsessed with me. But he won't admit that he's obsessed with me. And he's like super hot. Anyway, Jasper Vale is the youngest sister of the Edens. Did I mention that? The Edens are all like siblings. So like each book is like a different sibling and there's like 6 of them. Anyway, the youngest daughter, Eloise, her and this guy Jasper, like they got married in Vegas on a whim, like one night. And it's them like kind of figuring out if they're gonna be together, if they're not gonna be together. And Eloise is like, I can't be a disappointment to my family because like I really want to inherit my family's hotel. Like we have to keep this a secret. And he's like, well, maybe we don't, and it would look worse if we keep it a secret. So they decide to like be married for real. And he's like, okay, we can do this for real if you come with me to a wedding where my family is like the absolute worst and it's actually my ex-wife that's getting married. So I don't know what it was. It was just like a little teehee. It was good. I really like this one. Really like this one. If you're gonna read any of them, so 4 stars. 4 stars for Jasper. Next one was Crimson River. This one was also pretty fun. I mostly liked it because it was like, there was a murder case and you're following another sister and she goes out for a hike, and as she's hiking she run across this like hunter and she just says, hey, how you doing? Just letting you know I'm here so you don't like get freaked out, right? And Hunter does the exact opposite, gets freaked out and comes and tries to kill her by suffocating. He's strangling her, and then he like doesn't kill her all the way. She's able to make it to her car and like go to the cops, and she was able to like identify him like perfectly. Like, I know who this man is. Like I looked into your eyes, right? So then it's like a few weeks later, and this mysterious, dark, tall, handsome, burly man comes to town, and he is like a private detective, and he's looking for the man that tried to kill her, and then they end up trying to work together to catch this man. They end up catching feelings. It's very fun. I really liked it. Again, wasn't my favorite. No, but like I enjoyed it. None of these books, I'm like literally not there for the romance. I'm there for the vibes. The most disappointing book in this whole series is the last one, and that's Stable Peak. You have all these books where the layout is this crazy premise that's so out of the blue, and then you have this last book that like literally like didn't give us any of that. You know, it was kind of just blah. It wasn't anything new. Pretty much you're following, I can't even tell you what it is without spoiling stuff. It has a ton to do with Crimson River. Like Crimson River and Stable Peak are like the same book but different font, you know? It's just wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. I gave it 3 stars. I should have gave it 2 stars. But I'm not that mean. Overall, this whole series is probably like a 3-star series for me. It was fun. Are you missing anything? Absolutely not. But I definitely did like have a good time, you know, here for the vibes. Next book I read was Wait for It by Marietta Zapata. Oh, this is my second Marietta Zapata book I've ever read, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun. It was super cute. It was just everything. I loved her like relationship with her boys. Like that was just so sweet and so cute. And I loved her relationship with what is the guy's name? I can't even remember. Anyway, pretty much you're following Diana, which I love the name Diana, honestly. Following Diana, and she has adopted her, or I don't know what is that? When like your family, there's like your sibling dies and you like inherit their children. Is that like I guess it is adopting. So she has her 2 boys that she like adopted after her brother passed away, and she's like raising them, and it's like her trying to be a good parent for her 2 nephews. I don't know, there's this whole thing with her neighbor, and he's also her oldest nephew's baseball coach, and he's very handsome, ex-Marine, and they like build like a very fun friendship, and it's very cute. You know, Marietta Zapata books, you're not gonna get anything until like the very end, but this book got me giggling at like their elbows brushed while washing dishes. Ooh, that's the kind of spice I like to hear, you know? We love it. I don't remember what his name is. I like this book. I give it 4 stars. Just like, it didn't give me the 5-star feeling, but I seriously, like, I still loved it. But I don't think about it every day like I do The Wall of Winnipeg in me, which, that is what it is, you know? I still had a lot of fun, though. I probably would reread it again. Yeah, good vibes. Now we're entering the phase where I was reading a bunch of books at the same time. I was reading one on my Kindle, one in like physical, and then one on an audiobook. So they're all like intertwining together, okay? So first I read Caraval. Don't mind the cover. We know about the cover. I'm gonna get a new one, okay? I read the whole Caraval series, except I'm halfway through finale, okay? I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the month. I might just include it in this. I read Caraval, loved it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sad I haven't read it earlier. This was such a fun book. I haven't read like a YA in such a long time. Like, I feel like romance in like adult books is actually so harsh sometimes. I forget how like soft and like I don't even, like, is soft the right word? But like slow burn, you're like way more in your feelings with like a good YA. You're like, you're feeling it, and it's kind of the same vibe that Marietta Zapata gives me. Like that slow burn, that like, what's going on? What is he thinking? Like, what am I feeling? I don't like him, or maybe I do, and it's really fun. I miss that feeling. So I feel like I'm definitely gonna be reading a lot more YA this year. Just realizing like, I need to cut down on the smut, man. Smut, it just like gets a bit much. Not much. Like if smut's your thing, kudos to you. I'm realizing like, I want to cut back on that. I want to focus more like on the romance aspect of it, not so much the spice aspect, because that's the stuff I really love. But Caraval was so much fun. Caraval is a story about 2 sisters, and they like grew up with this like abusive father and this whole like tragic backstory. Their mother's missing or like ran away or something, and they're trying to like escape. Well, not escape. They're trying to, escape, because Scarlett, who is like our main character in this book, she is like engaged to be married to this mysterious man who like, he's a count or something, right? That's all she knows about him because it's all a secret. In this world, there's this magical thing called Caraval, which is like a game that whoever wins at the end gets a prize. And this year, Legend, who is the man who runs Caraval, his prize is a wish. So they somehow end up getting tickets to Caraval and get to like go right away and go on this magical journey. It is so cool. Well, pretty much, yeah, until her sister goes missing, and it ends up that her sister Donatella is part of the game, and she has to find Donatella in order to win or to like save her sister. And it was so much fun. For some reason, when I went into it, I was like, it's gonna be like a little more kiddie. It was pretty dark. There was some dark stuff in here, you know, like I was emotional. I was very stressed for a lot of it, you know. The romance in it was precious. I love Julian. He is very much a precious man. He's like this rascal, pirate-esque, like always teasing, always making fun. Very cute romance. I loved it. I gave it, how many stars did I give you, Caraval? 4 stars. 4.5, let's be honest. Yeah, 4.5 stars. Really fun. I'm so mad at myself for not picking it up earlier. I read Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. As you guys know, I tried to read this in my 24-hour readathon and failed. But then, you know, I didn't fail because I actually read it this month, guys. And I annotated the shit out of it. Do you see that? Do you see this markings? I literally made myself like sit down and just go through it. Like read everything and just went ham. And it was fun. I like actually thoroughly enjoyed it just as much the second time. I cried just as much the second time. Crescent City, you're following Bryce and Hunt, and they have to work together in order to solve a mystery of why people are being killed in their city. Her best friend was murdered. What's going on? I really liked this one a lot just for like the murder aspect. Like the crime aspect was so much fun. Thoroughly enjoyed the romance, also very fun. I like the romance in this book because again, it's a slow burn. We love a slow burn, okay? Very, very cute, very much like it. I love the roommates aspect of it. I think the second time I read this, I also gave it 4 stars. Second time, I think the first time I also gave it 4 stars. Really fun, really great. There's so much world building though. I gotta say, I don't know if it necessarily needed to be as long as it was, but it was fun. I had fun again, okay? Next book I read was The Cruel Prince. Again, I don't have my lovely little cover sleeve on it. Why? I don't know. But I read The Cruel Prince. This was not on my list of books that I needed to like read, like my physical TBR for like 2024, but it should have been. You know, I've had this book probably just as long as I've had Caraval, and I haven't read it. I listened to this on audiobook and it was really fun. Okay, I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm excited to read the next one, you know? Like, I haven't picked it up yet, but I think that's gonna be on my list for next month to get to. Pretty much you're following, what is her name? You know it's good when you forget everybody's name. Jude. You're following Jude. Jude and her other sisters get pretty much kidnapped and brought to the fairy world, right? Her mother and father are murdered because her mother ran away from her original husband, which is a man of fairy, and she ends up having to go and live in the fairy realm and grew up there. That was her whole life. That's all she knows is fairy. The only way to stay in fairy is if you have either a talent like painting or art, or are really good at fighting, or you can marry someone. And she doesn't want to marry anyone, and she's not good at like art or music, so she's like, I'm going to become a knight. She doesn't become a knight. She ends up becoming something even better, which is a spy. And it's kind of just really fun. It's like you're a spy, and there's like all this it's very political, and she keeps you on your toes. She's very like smart, and I don't know, it's very fun. I had a good old time. There is a little bit of romance. It's definitely like not the main plot line at all. It's kind of like the most enemies to lovers thing I've ever read, honestly. Like, they hate each other. Do you hate them, or do you just hate that you like them, kind of thing, you know? 4 stars. It was a solid read. I had a lot of fun. I would definitely read the rest of the books. I'm excited to read the rest of the books, actually. Next, woo, I read House of Earth and Blood. This took me so freaking long, okay? This book did not need to be this long. I'm gonna say it. Also, when I was reading these, I realized, I'm like, wow, these are so bro-y. Like, the way that it's written, like, the dialogue is so... I get it, though, because it's like, when you read, like, Akatar or Togue, like, they're very mature with their words, and I, like, always have just pictured that. And this, it's like, it's in modern times. It's in, like, present times, right? So, like, they're gonna talk like us. And I'm like, do we all talk like frat boys? Like, these are supposed to be, like, very old beings, even. But I guess if you're just living in a world like now, like, sure, you're gonna be a little bro-y, you know? But overall, very fun. The ending literally got me like, huh? Like that cat meme. Huh? That was me the whole last chapter. This book is following Bryce and Hunt again and all of their friends. Very found family-esque. Did I like the found family as much as I do in the other Sarah J. Maas books? No. We're not solving a murder this time. We are deciding whether we're going to be a part of a rebellion, pretty much, the whole book. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. I'm not even going to begin to, like, explain everything, anything. You guys are just going to have to read it. But, you know, overall, I gave it 4 stars. I had a good time. It was good. It was solid 4 stars. Next, I don't have it because I read it on my Kindle, but I read Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval series. This book follows Tella, or Donatella, which is Scarlett's sister from the first book that was, like, missing the whole time. You're following Tella, and she's playing the game this time, and she is trying to win so that she can free her mom, who, you know, is missing. She's trying to find her, and she realizes she's alive. She doesn't know where she is. This book was really interesting. I definitely feel like I like Scarlett's POV more than Donatella. Just, like, I don't know why. I just preferred it. Her way of thinking, I think, it just made more sense to me. But I still had a lot of fun. I didn't love it as much as the first book, but, you know, still a good time. I think it didn't feel like the stakes were actually as high, even though they were high. Especially because there's, like, a part, well, okay. This is a little bit of a spoiler. If you don't want to hear this, just skip ahead, okay? The part with Jax and how she's, like, dying, you know, and she thinks she's gonna die. That was, like, fun. And then you find out that she's his true love, like, almost halfway through the book, and that she's actually not dying, and she's fine. I don't get why they did that. Like, I would have, like, had her freak out until, like, the very end and, like, be more stressed, but maybe that's just me. So I didn't quite get that part or like it, I guess. But overall, I gave this 4 stars just because it was still really fun. I still really enjoyed it. And I'm currently reading the last book right now, and I really like it so far. You're getting both sisters' POVs, which was really fun. When I read the first book, I wasn't quite sure, like, how the books were going to progress. And I'm very happy with, like, how it is going so far. So that's all of the books that I read in January. I had such a fun time this month. I'm really excited for this next month. I'm already, like, going at it. If you enjoyed this and you would like more videos like this, then please subscribe, follow along, and, you know, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you next time. Bye.